what are you seeing from like folks that you're talking to? As you were describing this, it was like a lot of customers saying, oh, I have a lot of fatigue, I'm doing a lot of this stuff. Like what are you hearing as either these are the biggest obstacles, here's why I'm not investing? I don't know whether it's objections or where people come from and then they're interested in you, or like how to sort of phrase that. But what are you hearing from like being in market and talking to people who are at minimum evaluating this stuff?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question to answer. There are, I believe, a few things that are going on vis-a-vis, AI within the go-to-market space. So one, I think there's a pretty strong consensus that there's a there, right? But I think you've made a really astute observation that people really struggle to kind of talk about what their use cases have been. And I think the other thing is that really feels, I think, kind of problematic about AI is that it's so nebulous, right? And you're like, oh, better words,
Yeah.
right? Like I can produce more and better words. But if we're all being honest as businesses, until somebody's in product, everything is words,
Mm-hmm.
right? The whole business is words, which, by the way, everybody should be hiring more, I don't know, English majors or what have you, or former journalists. Like that's what they should be hiring. But they're looking at these LLMs and they feel like this should help me, but it's just not concrete. It's not coming from a place of, hey, I have a social media distribution problem, so I'm going to evaluate, the 6 or 7 tools that are out there that help to push social out there because I know that my HubSpot social tools are like, they're not bad, but we're kind of like we've outgrown them and we need
Yeah,
the
sure.
next generation of that's so clear, and they know how to then approach that problem and buy it. But when they go and they start to evaluate the AI stuff, it all kind of feels like I'm learning about what I might buy and do by taking the sales pitches, right? And from our perspective, one of the things that we've really been trying to focus on over the course of the last couple of months, frankly, is like, what's the problem that you've named as a business that we solve for? Because buying AI, look, it's accelerating because people have these like weird fungible budgets that have the word AI
Yeah.
attached to them. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of a funny place
Someone
to sell
said go buy $500,000 of AI tech this year, and no one knows what that
it.
actually means.
I mean, and it's actually happening. Like, and
Yeah.
particularly mid-market and larger businesses actually have those like, I don't know, whatever AI budgets. And then the marketing budget itself is like, you do not check all 74 check boxes I have on
Yeah.
exactly what it is I need. And you're like, come on, man. And so there's this, for us, we have to be a little opportunistic in terms of how we talk about what we do. But I do think that it's problematic on some level that those budgets are so flimsy. And I think the other thing that's really interesting is there are so few like AI operations people that live inside these businesses.
Totally.
And it's like, it's the same thing with no code. Look, anybody really can kind of learn Zapier, but if you're really going to get the value out of a tool like that, you should have somebody who's like your Zapier stud
Yeah.
internally who like really groks how that thing works and how it needs to work. And so it just feels like a lot of exploration right now. And so for us in our conversations, we really try to frankly not really talk about the AI. We talk about, you've got a content repository, you're doing a lot of complex workflows with a boatload of segments and like tags and all this kind of insane stuff. You're pulling your hair out, you're exhausted, and you're getting like a modicum of improvement in your marketing performance. You're at that tipping point where you're starting to think, do I lean more into brand, which is extensible and a human can control and push out, or do I hire a ton more people and try to increase my operational capacity? And we come in and we go, I can help you get more time for the brand work and help you actually do better on the thing that you think is a million more people. Right. And then they go, oh, great. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the moment where it feels like we really kind of like strike a chord and people go, okay, let me get my credit card out and let's
Yeah.
start to figure this out.
So not only are you leading an AI organization, you are heavily leveraging AI stuff in your GTM journey, whether it is with air traffic control or whether it's with other sort of things in the stack. Tell me about what you guys are doing that's like cool, exciting, interesting. And something I saw behind you is this fun little diagram that, for anyone that's just audio, has sort of like sitemap, how to find it, if yes, go to this direction. And this looks like a GTM journey to me, and I am eager to understand it.
Yeah, you should see how it's translated now over into a big, gigantic Confluence board, and a lot of people poking at it and doing their various jobs and tasks related to it now.